welcome to the WHIM Life show. I'm Wendy Alexandre, and we focus on using wisdom, humor, inspiration, and motivation to help you truly live your one unique life. So today we're going to talk about the next in our series of the 9 pillars that I use as guiding posts in my life. The spirit. So first, I really want to take a moment and define what it is that I'm talking about, because talking about spirituality or anything of that nature is very different for every single one of us. For me, being spiritual has literally nothing to do with religion in any way. I'm actually not an overly religious person at all. I was raised in a very religious home, like many, where going to church and participating in all of the rituals that entails was not optional. It was really kind of an expectation. But for many of you that know my history, that probably didn't go over well with me. I was much more of a rebel. I valued freedom of choice. That was way more important to me than anything my parents or any type of authority figure could have thought was correct. I wanted to do what I wanted to do, to hell with the repercussions. So, and if truth be told, I'm still a little bit that way. Just don't boss me. But I'm actually much more cognizant of consequences of those actions these days. So to get back on track, spirit to me is really the energy that we all have living inside of us. It's our true north, our gut instinct, our soul, our center. It's our connection to all of the energy that's around us. And that connection is to something bigger than ourselves. Some call it their small voice. Others call it God, the divine, the universe, or any of other names that you feel connected to. Hi, Opie. Are you coming to visit this video? Now that we are on the same page about what I'm talking about, let's talk about what I do to reflect on a daily basis and really connect with that area in my life. So I follow the same ritual for recording that information as I do with all of my pillars. Each evening I go through a process of reflection on my day. This has really become a very important part of my life philosophy, and I make sure that I make time for that reflection every single day, so that I know if I'm on the path of personal growth that I've personally set out for myself. It's like personal accountability. A lot of times we don't have the ability to do that with others, and this is just my way of saying, hey, you said that this was important to you. Are you taking action that reflects that on a daily basis? So when I go into my daily reflection, I think about that particular pillar, what it means to me. And I think the most important key in that process is intention. Not just if I engaged, but was I intentionally present in that area? Did I make sure that that was a priority for that day? So the guidelines for spirit for me are very easily identified. Did I make time to be quiet? Did I make time to get out in nature? Those are really probably the 2 actions that I can take that really ground me and that I know make a difference. So often that's meditating. If I'm doing a meditation in the morning, I prefer that it is a guided meditation. I have 100% monkey brain going on most of the time, and it's super difficult for me to slow down and simply focus. So having a voice reminding me during a guided meditation to come back to my breath repeatedly during a 10 to 15 minute meditation is super helpful. Recently, I met with someone to go over human design, and we talked specifically about getting quiet, and that sometimes that time is not always easy to get in. If my day is really packed, it starts early, it ends late. So even the act of simply driving between appointments in silence can be a great opportunity for my mind to settle so that it can bring the calm and creativity to a space that is normally cluttered with tasks and obligations. That alone, doing that over the last several weeks, has been an extremely valuable addition to my practice. So outside of just stillness, getting out in nature also gives me that same sense of calm. My backyard is that I've spent over a decade plus planting trees and flowers and choreographing my patio. It just brings me so much joy. There's comforting water fountain that brings me peace. I get out there as often as possible to enjoy what we have spent so much time creating from nothing but a dirt lot when we moved in. Not to mention, it has become a gathering place for our friends and for our family, which brings me even more of what I love into one space. So feel free to come over anytime. I will absolutely show it off to you. I am super proud of what we've created. If I am outside of that, if I'm looking for more movement, I get out more to see Mother Nature's creations in the foothills or by the river. There's so many trails by where I live. There's definitely not a shortage of opportunity. Many times those adventures are just by myself and one of the dogs or a few of the dogs, but I absolutely get extreme joy in sharing those opportunities with others as well. Great company and being outside brings me really the same sense of calm that I'm looking for during meditation as well. So how do I record this goodness? If you didn't happen to listen to the first episode in this series, I really use kind of a simple stoplight system. I use graph paper to map it out a quarter of a year at the time so that I don't get overwhelmed with recreating documents, because that has a tendency to slow us down, and we want this to be really easy. With that document, each day has its own box on the sheet in the columns, and then the spirit has its own row that goes all the way across. So I look up spirit on the left and then the date at the top, and I match those up, and that's when I color in the square. If I know I met my goal of being intentional by meditating or getting quiet, getting out in nature, then I color it green. If I end up making that connection with my spirit, but it was more happenstance than intentionally driven, I color it in yellow. And if I didn't get any quiet time that I know is so valuable, then I mark it in hot pink. Again, some might want to use red, but I'm just not really a fan of the color red. It tends to feel a really negative thing, and I never want this practice to feel like any part of it is a bad thing. So I just want it to be an opportunity for me to see where I'm at with meeting the intentions that I've set for myself. You can really make this as simple or as full as you choose to. It can simply be coloring in the boxes like it is for me, or it can take on full journal form, or literally anything in between. What it looks like is completely up to you. What I will say is just start. Take the opportunity to reflect on your spiritual connection goals, how you want to spend your time cultivating the opportunities to really dig deep into who you want to be on that front. And I promise you, you will absolutely thank yourself for it in the many days, weeks, months, and years to come if you stay focused on those goals. I want to say thank you so much for sharing this time with me, and I hope this dose of WHIM helps you go after what you dream of in your one unique life. Until next time, remember to share the goodness. Thank you so much for tuning in to the My WHIM Life show today. If you haven't already, be sure to subscribe so you don't miss a moment of the goodness.